Thank you very much for staying with Facing the Nation. Of course, unfortunately, our break was a little longer today, longer than usual. That is because I have a very big team in studio, and it really is my pleasure to have them. Two of them I knew when they were really, really teeny children, and it really is exciting to have them on today. Of course, earlier in the program, I told you we were talking about two things today: public telecommunications and the robotics camp that's currently happening now in Guyana. They're here to tell you about it. And it's really good to have them on, to have the focus on them, of course, because in Guyana, we've been, for the last 2 or 3 years, we've been talking about the fact that youths need to take on a more hands-on approach in terms of leadership roles in various sectors, whatever it is that they're interested in or their field of expertise. We've been talking about that. So it is my pleasure to have this team that is facilitating this camp for our Guyanese youths. And I begin by introducing the young lady to my immediate right, of course. This is Emma Christian. You'll hear from them in detail about the project, the program, and the camp. This is Emma Christian. Of course, welcome to Facing the Nation, Emma.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us here today.
Great to see you all grown up. Caleb Christian, of course, they're siblings. Caleb Christian, welcome to Facing the Nation.
Thank you for having us.
Asha Christian, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
And Joshua Christian, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
All right. And right to the end of the table is their mom. That's, I like to call her Mama Bear. Karen Abrams, welcome back to Guyana, and of course, welcome to Facing the Nation.
Thank you for having us, Malika.
Great to have you. Okay, first off, let's talk about what really the project is, the robotics camp. Let's talk about that, Emma.
Sure. So basically we're going to be running, well, we just ran our first official robotics camp yesterday. The 2 days preceding yesterday, we went through robotics training for future club organizers and future camp volunteers. So basically what we do is we have, my siblings, Ash and Caleb, just flew in today.
Okay.
So far it's been myself, Joshua, and my mom who've been running the camp so far. And we basically run through a few presentations and a few motivating and inspiring videos that have to do with computer science and technology in our world, just to introduce the students to the technologies that we'll be working with and just to get them excited about it. Mm-hmm. After we do that, I basically lead a robotics crash course session on the different Lego Mindstorm robotics kits they'll be building with. Mm-hmm. I introduce them to the kits, I introduce them to the parts, and then they build their first robot. Then we teach them how to program the robots, and they run through their first official robot program. And then we allow them to modify the initial robot, and then from there, once they're familiar with both programming and building, we allow them to just go wild and get creative and add what they want.
Emma, this is very new. And as a young person who, yes, you are Guyanese parentage, but you grew up in the U.S., this is very different for Guyana. Do you find it has been difficult thus far to get them on board and to get them to understand what this is about and all that? Or is the interest really great?
So far, the interest has been really great. The students, super excited from the moment, like, we'll play the videos and presentations, and I can see as I'm going through the initial like robotics introduction and I'm introducing the parts and everything, they're really eager to get to building. Mm-hmm. And they're catching on so quickly and they're learning so fast. And halfway through one of the programming lessons I taught, some of the students started making the robots move and turn and doing all these other things that I hadn't taught them yet. So they just really were letting their creativity drive them, and it was just so exciting to see.
Okay, and you must be proud as a young teacher in that. And viewers, I should tell you, I have to let the viewers know your age, because I see this group here as also an inspiring young group to persons who, may be at home thinking, well, maybe I'm too young, or, it's not my thing, I'm too young to get involved. This young lady's only 18 years old and she's already teaching them that. All right, let me talk to one of your other siblings now. Joshua, this is big, and for me it's different because I grew up in an era where we dealt with pencil on paper and simple cell phones. So again, this is also different and new for me. What inspired not only yourself but your siblings to move in this direction?
Well, initially our mom, she got us into technology as like young kids in elementary school. And then from there, that really piqued our interest in robotics and like what we're teaching them, Lego robotics. Mm-hmm. So after that, we really decided that we wanted a lot of other kids to have the same opportunities that we had when it came to being exposed to technology like this. So then we decided to come down to Guyana and to get them to start getting hands-on with the robots, so they can actually learn and touch and feel, because we think that's one of the best ways to learn this type of stuff.
All right, forgive my ignorance on this. I know Ema talked about it a lot, but just for clarity, what really is Lego robotics? What is it?
Lego, the company, they came out with they're a toy company, and they came out with a kit that's basically like clip-in pieces, and then they have a brain. It's like a programmable brick that you can clip into your like motors and all of your different sensors and everything, and then you can essentially make a robot with their pre-made pieces.
Okay, all right, great. Asha and viewers, I have to share this too because I feel so close to them. Sometimes I get mixed up with the two, Ema and Asha, because they're beginning to look like a twin now that they're getting older. I know you only came in this morning, but what do you hope to gain from all of this in terms of socializing with the other young people who are going to be part of these camps and who you're also going to be helped to teach? What do you hope to gain from this entire experience?
I really hope to get a change in perspective. I know where I'm coming from in Georgia, a lot of people think in similar ways, and one of the best ways you can solve problems is to put technology in the hands of people who are in different conditions. And I think that by teaching the young kids things like Lego robotics and things like programming, it'll be amazing to see like what problems they can solve by using the technology. And I think seeing how they work through different issues would be a great like perspective change for me.
Would you like or promote, I mean, I'm going to talk to your mom about this a little later on, but would you like or promote this to be an ongoing or an annual event or annual activity for Guyana?
Of course. Right now we're starting the initial camp, so we're hoping we can set it up so that the kids can come back to certain areas within their neighborhoods or close to their homes and things like that, so that they can continually use the robotics and learn to program with them and do great things with it.
Okay, all right. I'm going to call, thank you very much, Asha. I'm going to call Joshua the baby because he's the youngest sibling. How are you feeling about all of this? And how, again, your sister did say that you were here, you've been here for a while. How have you, in a sense, blended in? Do you feel at home? And how are you feeling about all of this?
I do feel at home with the, teaching kids robotics, because I've been doing that since I was since I was 7 years old.
Wow.
At a program we started in Georgia. So I've really had experience with it, and I've liked it ever since I was 7.
Have you seen any similarities so far with what the kids in the U.S., where you're from, of course, in Atlanta, and what's happening here with the kids in terms of learning this?
Yes, they both have the same learning pattern. As soon as you teach them how to build the robot, they immediately get onto the coding. And the coding is not straightforward, but they get it right away, and then they start building, and then after we finish teaching them how to build our robot, they go ahead and build their own robot. And then you can see all the creativity just flourish from there on.
Okay, great. And that is what we want. They can be able to be creative and everything can flow from there. Karen, I know that I was listening to you a news clip last night, and you were talking about Trinidad and Jamaica and so on. How can Guyana be compared, in terms of this program, Guyana be compared with those two CARICOM nations?
As of right now, those guys have got a little bit of a head start. I mean, they've had I think most of their activities have been private, like private clubs, and which is what we want to do here as well. Mm-hmm. But they've got a bit of a head start. But that means nothing. Our kids are equally bright, and I believe that given access to the equipment and given access to the software and the programming and practice, our young people will be just as smart as their young folks. So I'm pretty confident that we'll have at least a team of kids who can perform at international level if we leave clubs in place and allow them to practice quite often. Mm-hmm. I think that we can get to that level.
We always talk about the fact that Guyana is underpopulated. I think we still have less than 1 million people, but the fact is physically we're really big. Mm-hmm. So this brings into perspective the hinterland communities and those faraway regions. Mm-hmm. I know maybe on this first trip you cannot necessarily get to them, but are you thinking about that
Absolutely, down the road? Absolutely. We thought about it before we came, and the logistics was sort of was sort of an issue because we have a short time and they have to get back to school. But as I was coming over, my partner, Dr. Terrence Blackman, he's running the QC camp. He shared with me that someone reached out to him and said, we need you to bring this camp to the hinterlands. So, and he said to me, we have to do this. In addition to that, I spoke with Nigel Hughes briefly yesterday, and he wants to fly down, someone to come down and get trained on the robots in one of our camps this time around, and then we'll give them a robot to take back. So they'll be able to share some of that technology. So we'll make sure no one's gonna get left behind. We are gonna leave, we're gonna leave clubs in place so that if somebody's motivated enough, they can find these clubs and find a way to learn robotics and to practice. And in addition to that, if there are more people out there who are interested in creating clubs, then we'd like them to email us.
Okay.
Let us know, get some sponsors together, and let's see what we can do, because we want everybody to be able to have a chance to participate.
All right, Karen, I can't have you come on Facing the Nation for the first time and not put you on the spot.
Okay.
Now, we always talk about the fact that Guyana is still a developing country. We have a far way to go to get on par with most of the international world, the wider world. If someone is to come up to you with the argument that, look, hey, we got bread and butter issues that we need to deal with and we need to fix these issues. We still got infrastructure issues. I had Minister Hughes earlier on talking about the fact that, we're now opened up for the telecommunications sector to grow. And we still have these issues that we're dealing with. At this point, why is it necessary for this sort of project to come to Guyana for our young people?
Well, for one thing, the young people today are going to grow up in a world that's markedly different from the world that we've been a part of. So the problems that are here to be solved for them in Guyana are problems that are affecting other countries as well, and problems that are even affecting the United States. So, for example, healthcare. Healthcare there are a lot of problems in healthcare, and we can immediately apply technology to healthcare issues in Guyana to improve things. So, for example, managing a drug inventory system so that we know every hospital in Guyana, we know that every hospital, we're aware of what drugs are in place so that we can balance and put inventory in place in the right time. These are things that young people can create, databases and systems. People who come through the robotics program or who have programming backgrounds can create to immediately improve things in Guyana, bread and butter issues, education. I met someone who came to our meeting was a principal at a private school, and he was using programs like Khan Academy, is a free math program online, khanacademy.org. And his kids were learning, he didn't have a lot of top math teachers, but his kids were learning math and getting good grades because they were using technology in place today. So there are a lot of places where we can reap rewards, long lines at different places. We can reap rewards immediately by implementing technology. So I think that the advantages that we see around the world is because a lot of these folks have been able to, they have the resources to jump in that direction. But I think what we need to do is allow our young people to be exposed to technology, to be able to think of them as tools for solving problems, and clue them into, empower them to believe that they can solve problems. And then and then we'll see what happens.
Okay.
I believe a lot will happen.
Great. I know you're always a very positive spirit. I want to talk to you eventually about your collaboration with the Office of the First Lady. But before I do that, I would like to get back to the young ones. Because I think it really is interesting that all of your siblings are interested in this. But I would want to know if there are other, if in terms of when you've become the stage of productive adult, if there are other interests, other fields, other careers you're interested in. Beginning with you, Joshua.
I'm really interested in any engineering careers or maybe something in computer science.
Okay. All right. Well, you're on the right path, clearly. Asha.
Yeah, like I was saying, I was really interested in entrepreneurship and in pairing computer science with entrepreneurship. So I'm hoping I can go into the startup scene and things like that. But I'm really interested in that. In addition, I'm very creative, so I'm into graphic design and anything that has to do with artsy-fartsy kinds of things. So.
Okay, so this is the business part, the head of it, and the designer, the creative mind. Caleb.
I'm really interested in a little bit of everything. I believe that you can apply technology to whatever field you want to go into. Personally, I would want to go into medicine and specifically genetics and hereditary diseases. But when it comes to technology, I really feel like you can apply it to whatever industry you decide to go.
Fabulous. And you, Ema?
I would agree with Caleb. I think as technology can be applied to any interest or any field anyone has. Personally, I'm interested in entrepreneurship. Right now, I'm in college. I'm studying computer science. But I'm also interested in venture capital. This is one of the things I do right now is I'm a student venture capital at my school. I go to Stanford University in California. And I just am so excited about learning about new companies and new markets and just all the different advancements that are taking place in so many different industries. And just having a hand in those businesses is something that I'm interested in.
Okay, great. And if you have technical problems, you have it right here in your house. Before we talk about the collaboration with the First Lady's office, University of Guyana is the highest learning institution in Guyana, of course. In terms of going in this direction of computer science and fields similar to this, what would you like to see the University of Guyana do or offer to facilitate people who are like these four who want to be, definitely want to have this sort of career?
Okay. I know under the leadership of Dr. Ivla Griffith, there's going to be a push in this direction. I'd like to see more hands-on startup focus, encouraging the young folks to be creative. And this is in the computer science area.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they have the computer science theory down. Maybe strengthen the curriculum a little bit. But I would definitely like to see a push towards entrepreneurship. I'd like to see the young people starting and failing businesses, starting and failing and failing and starting and learning, and that's how you really become really good. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to see a push around that. I think as well, a lot of top schools in the United States, MIT and Harvard and those schools all play with Lego Robotics. Their engineering teams are working on Lego Robotics. With Lego Robotics, and anything that could be built in real life with a robot, you can do with Lego Robotics. And so it's a powerful tool, and I'd like to see them to be able to implement that program at UG as well. And maybe they can be sort of a source, a satellite source in all communities in terms of sharing knowledge. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'd like to see, and I think it's possible. I think Dr. Griffith is progressive, and he will move in that direction as well.
All right, great. Finally, before I have to wrap up my discussion with all of you, which is definitely a pleasure, let's talk about your collaboration and the input and the support that you're getting, you and the group, you're getting from the Office of the First Lady.
Mm-hmm. The First Lady's been amazing, and she's quite unusual, and after we saw the competitions with the Trinidadians and the Jamaicans, we said, hey, our kids should be in it as well. Our Guyanese students should be in it. We reached out to her, and when she was at Georgia, we said, we'd like to do this. And she's like, I think it's a great idea. When you get closer to the summer, call me or let me know. And, I was like, I don't want to bother the First Lady, really, but we're thinking. And then I got an email from her, and she said, what's the update? What's the update on your program? And so we knew that this was something that had to be done because it's very rare.
Right.
Yeah.
Unusual indeed is the word.
Yes, exactly. And not only that, she was very supportive. She still is supportive. She's helped us in many ways, and I'm very grateful to her because this wouldn't have happened without her. I'm pretty confident. And also I want to say that there's a team of about 50 people in the diaspora who were responsible for donating money, and they donated about $8,000 so we can purchase the robots. They were instrumental. We could not have done this without them. We call them Team STEM Guyana. Mm-hmm. And also our local sponsors. We've had quite a few people, and if I start calling names, I'll forget some.
And you'll end up in trouble.
Yes, and I'll end up in trouble. So we've had wonderful supporters and wonderful sponsors. Go to our website, stemguyana.com. You'll see our sponsors, and we're asking you to support them because they have been amazing and very helpful. Also, Ministry of Education has helped, and the Communications Ministry has helped. So we've nobody has really turned us down, and everybody's been helpful, and for that we are grateful.
Before we go, what are the days of the camp? How many more are remaining? Because I think you're here until in August.
Right, we're here until August. We start off next week, Monday through Friday. We're at St. Rose's High School, 9 to 12. Okay. And then in the afternoon, 1 to 4, we're at Queens College. The week after that, Monday through Friday, Tuesday through Friday, we're in Buxton, and then Tuesday through Friday in the afternoon, we're at Luzignan. So we have about 5 camps left because St. Rose's is divided into 2 different sets of students.
So basically, the students, they're just showing up? Or was it done through the schools?
Well, the locations, we initially had 4 locations who signed on early. So that was part, when we initially kicked this off, we needed to find locations. And it was sort of a challenge because we were asking people to give up their location for a week with kids, and they weren't sure what the program was going to be about. And we had 4 people step up early and say, hey, we'll do it for you. And not only did they do that, in Lusignan and Buxton, I mean, they've said we'll pay for the lunches, we'll find the students, we'll even buy a robot. So these people were very, hands-on and supportive. And so once we started talking about it, so we had about 80 students covered initially. Once we started talking about it online, we got another 100 students come in. And so we had to find a place for them. So we had some one-day camps, so that we could at least
facilitate
more. So we can expose them to the technology. So for example, yesterday, Yesterday, we had 18 students registered and 30 students actually showed up. So we pulled out the
pushing and you're stretching.
Yes,
Okay.
we pulled out. We had Vidya Kisoon, and he was marvelous, and he helped us to find computers and cables and tables and all kinds of stuff. So we have a supportive team. We have great volunteers. We have lovely people at St. Rose's who've helped. This is truly, truly a team project, and I'm not just saying that. Like, it would not have happened had it not been for all of the folks involved.
All right, great. I want to congratulate you, Karen, as the mother of all of this. Keep doing what you're doing, and to the young ones, Joshua, Asha, Caleb, and Ima, it has been a pleasure, and it really was great to have you here on Facing the Nation. Good luck. I look forward to hearing and seeing more from you, not only this year, but next year and the other year and the year after that, and, as you progress. And again, on behalf of all the young people who are going to benefit this year and in years to come, I like to say thank you very much, because again, this is new for Guyana and it's a new exposure, and I think it can really take our young people places. So congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Malika.
Thank you.
Great. Viewers, this is Facing the Nation. Stay tuned. I'll take a quick break, and by the time I get back, it will be time to wrap up today's program. Stay tuned. All right, viewers, thank you very much for staying tuned. Unfortunately, this is where I have to leave you from today's very informative program. I'd like to take this opportunity to once again thank the Minister of Public Telecommunications, the Honorable Catherine Hughes. Of course, if you've missed that conversation, unfortunately, you missed a lot. But what is going to happen as usual, you can catch that conversation on my Facebook page before the end of the day. It's also going to be up on my YouTube channel. Of course, that's for those of you who follow me on social media. Also, if you missed the conversation with the young people who talked about the Lego robotics and the camps and so on, again, you missed a great one. But that too will also be on my YouTube channel and on Facebook before the end of the day. The next big event coming up for Guyana is Emancipation Day, but next week, Friday, we'll talk about that some more. So as some of you try to get culturally aware, I know you forget during the year, but whenever it comes to this time, you try to get culturally aware, not only for Emancipation, but for other cultural festivals and celebrations. Whatever it is that you're going to do this weekend, ensure that you be safe, do it carefully, do not drink and drive, do not speed. I am Malika Ramsey. Thank you very much for joining us. Be good Guyanese citizens and take care of yourselves. Goodbye.